evening, everybody. Good night. Or, no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro. Not just numbers.
Not just stats.
It's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Durty with your boy. Me. 1/4 of our way through the season. A lot of surprises, a lot of things that people want to say they saw coming and nobody will admit that they didn't see coming. Y'all know what is up. Y'all know what it is. Let's hop right into a surprise. We have a team that played, for the most part, fundamentally sound basketball. They tied their opponents in rebounds. They tied their opponents in assists. They had more blocks. They led in field goal percentage. They led in three-point percentage and still managed to lose the game by 8. I think you figured out what I'm talking about here. Bay Area versus DMV. A team with so many athletes, we can run down the list as it is, and I think there would be very little surprise if you could say at any given point, every single one of those players, including the ones coming off the bench, wouldn't be starting on another team in the league. That surprise of where this team is has only led us to talk about one thing at the start of their season, with already more losses than many people expected them to have. And this is the rarity of a league. Though built on parity, it seems Bay Area has managed to find its way into the legitimate parity slipstream that is SimWorld Hoops. In the game they lost against DMV, there were 3 statistics that came up short, and they're statistics that are often ignored. Of course, not the scoring. That's one of the 3. Okay, you can say duh, but there's 2 additional ones. I might find anyone hard-pressed to disagree with this. Bay's offense comes off of their defense. Very strong presence inside by so many players that most of their offensive game comes from what they're able to produce on the defensive side of the floor, and by far one of the best transition teams in the league. However, in this particular game against DMV, 0 steals. Yeah, 0 steals. A team that boasts at least one dirty a night, Trey. Another potential dirty every night, Sean. And at least 2 other players that scratch at the itch of being a dirty. 0 steals for the entire team, and that is not their game. This team also had 5 turnovers. Also not their game. Odd play for a team that's so fundamentally sound. And lastly, DMV, who played the game, had 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers. That was the difference. Those aforementioned stats were the difference that made it an 8-point victory for DMV. Even though they lost the battle in so many other statistical lines, they won where it counted. If you're going to be outshot from 2 and 3 points, if you're going to be outblocked, if you're going to not win the rebound battle, if you're not going to win the assist battle, at least win the turnover battle. And they did. 0-5. Awesome. And that is what made the difference. And that is what sort of turned things around in that game, because it was tight. It was contentious, as it should be with talent like this. Everybody can jump on the bandwagon of who they doubt, who they don't doubt, who they believe in, who they don't believe in. That's fine. Talent is talent. Talent will always win out. Just see it and believe it in what it's going to be. Hopefully found that analysis interesting. We're going to look at another game when we come back. So, catch you another day.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
See the game, be the game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to the second half of Talking Dirty with your boy. Me. Yeah, I know, that was a double me. Siege and B-Ron like that, so, got to give the boys what they want. And, oh, by the way, check out their podcast. Quit sending me these nasty messages. All right. I don't know why they sending the messages to me. Anyway, but whatever. That's just what's up. Talk about a surprise in another game. Outcome of Oceania and Queen City Kings. This game was the epitome of two teams that are in their way prepared to win. And it came down to a matter of one, micro execution and macro organization. Let me talk about what that means. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left to go in the game. Oceania's up 53-52. Oceania has a miss. Queen City brings the ball up. Great lateral inside-out passing, which means it wasn't from top of the key to into the post. It was foul line extended into the post, back out to the corner, foul line extended into the post, and was able to get a 2. They take the lead. Oceania calls a timeout. And coming out of this timeout speaks to the turn of the game. Oceania put on an inside-out game passing clinic that if you want to know how it works, just go back to this game, go to the 2 minute, 3 second mark in the fourth quarter, and watch the way Oceania handles the ball inside out and scored off both accordingly. And that's exactly what happened in the next possession out of the timeout, just as you would expect. Queen City Kings brings the ball back up the floor. It felt like it was a rush play, like we had already decided this was going to be our play if we get this look. Not so great of an alley-oop pass. The player, I felt, reacted to the rim and not to the ball. I could be wrong. Call your boy out if I miss this. End up being a turnover. Oceania brings the ball back up. Same great ball movement. They throw the alley-oop. Psychology of performance, we'll talk about that later. And it's not a great pass because, again, it also felt rushed against the look. However, the player then reacts to the ball. Now, it wasn't as bad as the initial pass was before. The player reacts to the ball, not to the rim, gets a reverse put in. Yay. We go up by 1. Queen City Kings come back up. Same great ball movement. However, this time it's lopsided in terms of how they were passed against leverage. Still managed to get 2 off of a strong midi. Great play. Oceania comes back up. There is a miss. Queen City Kings rush up, sense a chance to take the lead. Who wouldn't? Impulsive passing that wasn't true inside out. It was more inside to mid, forcing it back into the paint, which is fine. I'm fine with that part. But here's what I was not fine with. When the player gets the chance to perform in the paint, receives the ball, what does Maestro always say? Know where your defense is. Know where you need to move to. The player puts the ball on the floor when they didn't need to. And then tried to force a shot. Bad shot. However, it gets bailed out because they're fouled. Now, unfortunately, they only go 1 of 2 at the foul line. So what does that leave us? Tied at 57. And now we're down with basically 36 seconds left to go. And then all this other stuff starts to set in. Oceania comes down. Good inside-out ball movement. Again, textbook. Please go back and check this out. Textbook inside-out ball movement. Get a solid 3. Queen City brings the ball back up off the inbound. It is misdefended, and then they have to foul. And that is where the decision-making turned sideways. Passes were not made to open players, and it led to the string of fouls that ended up capping off the game at its height. Those are the moments that I'm talking about when you cannot allow the performance of the other team impact how you perform when you come down the floor. And by that, I mean this. If the team you're defending gets a high-powered shot or high-energy shot, let's just say it that way, and you bring the ball back up to try to match that, no. Bam, 2 points are 2 points. Be smart. Take the 2 points. keep yourself in the game. And to be frank and fair about it, it did not appear that that is the game that Queen City played at the end. There was trying to be a match of a tit for tat, and the tats and the tits for short. And that can happen. Hopefully they'll learn from that. Hopefully they'll build from that, and they will extend their performance in the next game and the games moving forward. Because I still think it was a strong performance. It's just too bad it came out in a loss. I think they all learned from that. How did you see the end of that game? How did you feel it went down? Yell at your boy. You know what's up. Let me know what you're thinking about. You know I got to hear it. Maestro's always on your side. And to everybody, in regards to this Happy New Year, if you really want to talk to me, you can give me a call at 212-755.
Like I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.